Welcome to Mechabellum. We're going to do something a little bit different right now. This is a new video making to help out new players, and especially the people that are playing on the weekend during one of the many free weekends this game has. Excuse me. A lot of the time the developers will allow or put on Steam a free weekend event to get people to play the game for free, get them interested in it, and then hopefully, of course, grow their player base. As a result of that, a lot of people jump into the game not really knowing or understanding what it is, and they struggle and they get turned off by it because it's frustrating to try to figure it out in one weekend, and a lot of people don't get it. So what I thought we could use is a quick and dirty guide to Mechabellum. So welcome to Nightmare's quick and dirty guide to Mechabellum. First of all, a little bit about me. I am not a top tier player. I'm what you might call middle tier. So I'm not an expert. What you're going to see here are not expert opinions or strategies to win. That's not the goal. If you want to look up that stuff, there are people significantly better than me with better YouTube channels and videos that I encourage you to go check out. People like Ubon, Odds, Sorry the Rat, etc. all have really great videos. You can go learn the higher details, the higher level of play. This is just, like I said, a quick and dirty guide. You're new to the game, you're trying it maybe on a free weekend, and you just want to learn enough to be dangerous so you can go out there, have fun, and make a decision about whether or not to buy the game. So that being said, let's jump in. When you first open the game, you're going to come to this screen here. Now this screen is just the welcome splash screen, and you can see all the who's streaming it, and you can see all the featured videos, which if you click one will take you straight to YouTube. Now any of these videos are probably good for you to watch if you want to learn more about the game. You can check out any of mine. Like I said, I'm middle tier, but I do try to explain what I'm doing so I can give you kind of an understanding of basics. You can look at other people. So for example, Ubon is great. A lot of these guys are honestly really good, and if you watch the videos, you're going to pick up stuff that's going to help you improve your game. Excuse me. So from there, you can go to multiplayer, and you can jump straight in. You can try to join a match. You can spectate. Generally, the best way to do it is to come here and join a battle. Now, we're going to get to that here in a minute. First of all, though, let's keep going through the tabs. You've got your solo. This is where you really should go first and foremost if you've never played the game. You want to go to the Commander Academy, learn the tutorial. It's extremely basic, so you're going to definitely want to look at videos and play around some more, especially in practice or testing grounds, before you jump into multiplayer matches, or you're going to get stomped. You also have community challenges. These are things other players have created for you to go try. There's the practice where you get to play against an AI. You can come in here and choose any of them. Start off with easy, work your way up. When you can beat Insane pretty routinely, and honestly Insane's not that hard to beat, he's pretty easy. When you feel like you're beating him pretty easily, I would say jump into multiplayer. You have enough of an understanding of the basics that you're not going to struggle too much. So that being said, you've also got survival mode, which is kind of like practice, but it's just a little different design. You have limitations on you, and you can see the different limitations, and it goes all the way up to Insane 4. Again, hardcore stuff, much harder than practice. Play it if you want to get really good. Testing grounds, you come in here and you can set up all kinds of conditions. You can jump into the match, and you can play both sides, set up whatever units to test them against each other, test their techs. It's a great way for learning the game. Again, play around with this a little bit before you jump into multiplayer. Tournaments happen on routine countdowns. If you're playing on a weekend, there are tournaments on the weekend. You can probably participate, but I would probably recommend not trying it if you're just doing a free weekend, because you're going to get a much more competitive, higher level of play in these tournaments, and it's going to probably be frustrating for somebody that just wants to get their feet wet. Unit modification, you can go in and look at units, and you can actually spin them around and check them out. You can come down and select whatever text you want to put on them. Now if you're starting out fresh, you won't have all the text unlocked like I do. You'll have to earn points to unlock them. You have to figure out which ones you want to unlock in order. I'm not going to go into text because there's other people that have really great videos out. I really recommend you check out Ubon's video, The Only Tech Guide You'll Ever Need. Fantastic video. Check it out. It goes into every unit, every tech. I'm not going to go into that here because he's already covered that in fantastic detail. Just know this screen is where you go if you want to look at your units. If you want to change out your skins, which is like your paint schemes, for example, you can come in here and select different paints, apply them. If you unlock any during the weekend, that's where you do it. And of course, like I said, the biggest and most important thing is you adjust your text. If you enable replays in your settings, you can come look at your replays here. You can even hit watch your replay, go back into the game, take over certain rounds, see what works, what doesn't work, and kind of just test it out. It's a good way to learn. You may not have time to really dive into it on a free weekend, or you may. It's up to you. Community, you come here and you can access the larger Mechabellum community. The Discord is a great place to meet up with other people, join groups, learn more information. Of course, you can go to the Steam forums as well. There's community guide, community wiki, a little bit outdated, but again, basics are kind of covered. Store won't really apply for a free weekend, but you can go here and collect your free credits that generate over time. Use them to purchase, cosmetic items. You have limited time offers you can use real money to purchase. Generally, these are things not in the free pool, but will eventually be added down the road. You can buy credits for betting. I'm not really going to get into betting because it doesn't really apply for free weekends, but know that you can bet in a match with in-game credits. And if you win, your rank goes up, you get more credits, so on and so forth. It's a little mini game, you can think of it that way. And then season rewards. So you come up here to season and your little bar fills up. You can think of it like an XP bar. The more matches you play, especially the more matches you win, the more XP you get. It fills up, and each time you pass a milestone, you get something. So most of the time you get credits, or points in this case. Season points. You can also unlock consumables, cosmetics. And when you unlock the season points, you come to the store, go to the season store, you can buy these things here in the season store. I'm going to buy this guy, for example. Confirm. I have a new emoticon that I can use down here. If I come down here, click the emoticon, I can find all my little emoticons. Where is he? There he is. I just sent that out to the global chat, and people are going to wonder what's going on with me now. Go to collection, you can see all of your collection here, all of your information, MMR, insight, prediction tickets, everything's right here. How many I have 2 tech points, I didn't realize that. I don't have anything to spend them on. But you can see all your stuff right here, including all the avatars you've collected, your avatar frames, emotes, all that stuff is here. You can set your custom emote bar to use in game. So that's the interface. And that we're going to do next is we're going to go over here to the practice testing grounds. Let's see, first ground supplies. I just want 2,000. Probably won't even need the money, but we'll just put it there. One pro tip I'll tell you, just stay out of the global chat. I usually have it disabled. I enabled it for the purpose of this video, but you can see it's just a dumpster fire. Just stay out of it. So here we have the testing grounds. You can try out all kinds of units, and we're not going to go into big detail on this. I'm going to cover some really basic unit information here, just so that you understand what you're getting into and how the units interact with each other. Know in this game there are 3 basic archetypes. You've got the chaff, anti-chaff or chaff clear, and DPS or tank. So 3 types. Chaff is one, your chaff clear, or some people call it anti-chaff, and the third one is your DPS, or some people call it your tank. And essentially, let's pull the chaff in here. Generally speaking, these guys are your main chaff units. So you've got Mustangs, Crawlers, you've got Fangs, you've got Wasps. Now, these are your 100 cost chaff units in the front. These 2 right here. The Crawlers, just get rid of that, the Crawlers, and your Fangs. They're the cheapest chaff. You can deploy them in mass, and they have different features. For example, Crawlers have decent damage, high health relative to the Fangs, very fast movement speed, but they're melee, and their tech bar is very different. The Fangs have higher damage output, but less health. They're squishier. They have a range because they're a ranged unit. They're not melee, and they move at roughly half the speed. Actually, exactly half the speed. Or yeah, 16 to 12. I'm sorry, not 12. So yeah, a little less than half the speed. So you can think of this as a fast-moving, tanky chaff. This is a slow-moving, more powerful chaff. Chaff is mainly designed to protect your more valuable units. It's expendable. You think of them like pawns. There are strategies you can go with a carry chaff plan. I'm not going to get into that. Again, there's other videos, other people who've done that. Just know that these chaff units are designed to be expendable. Next, you have your medium chaff. Your medium chaff units are units that are designed to be flexible, carry multiple roles. They can do your DPS. They can act as a more tankier, more medium chaff to tie up enemy units. It just depends what you want. I don't usually play these as chaff because I want them to fulfill specific roles. I've got my Mustangs teched out to be anti-chaff and anti-air. My Wasps are designed to be high-level DPS against ground targets. It just depends on your play style. But do know that if you need a medium chaff, or if you need an aerial chaff, the boss are the only aerial chaff you have. These two combined are your best medium chaff. If we're talking about a lot of units that are going to spread out, distract enemies. Just clear them out. So now let's talk anti-chaff. Oops. And again, I'm not going to go into great detail on which anti-chaff units are best. It's just not really the purpose of this video. Now, if you notice, there's way more anti-chaff than chaff, and some of it has overlap. Look, you see the Mustangs came back. I list them as anti-chaff because I've got a tech bar that makes them anti-chaff. You might not have a tech bar that makes them anti-chaff. Other people may not. It's very flexible. We're going to pull them out to the side and go through these one at a time. So they're a 200 cost chaffy unit that can be anti-chaff, support, DPS, whatever role you want it to play. But I include them there because they can be very anti-chaff. The Hound is another great anti-chaff unit. It's designed like a shotgun, so to speak. Takes out lots of units. You've got the Sledgehammer, not as good anti-chaff as others, but still has enough splash damage and everything that still does a pretty decent job of anti-chaff. The Arclight is another. Let's see, these two are light units, these two are mediums. Let's get them separated here. When you separate them by their unit size, that'll prevent some confusion from occurring. Like that. Here we go. Alright, so these are your light anti-chaff. We talked about the Hounds. The Arclight is like a tanky anti-chaff unit. It's a really good anti-chaff unit. And again, tech bars and everything, you can go into more detail on what's what, looking at other videos, especially Ubon's tech bar video, for example. I'm just showing the archetypes and what can work in these roles. Again, quick and dirty guide. Talked about Mustang, talked about the Sledge. Next up is Fire Badger. This is hands down one of the premier anti-chaff units in the game. It's a flame tank, basically. It sets everything on fire and kills it. The Wraith is an aerial anti-chaff. It has 4 guns. It can be expanded to 8. It does a great job clearing chaff. Tarantula, great job clearing chaff. Typhoon, one of the best chaff clears in the game, right alongside Fire Badger and Wraith. Really strong. Now you have your giant units, which we haven't really talked about giants yet. Basically, giants are the second most expensive unit in the game. They're very strong. The Vulcan is one of the kings of chaff clear. Very powerful chaff clearing unit with the ability to put out lots of DPS against medium and even some giant units too. The Raiden, again, great high DPS unit. It has some techs that can make it very good at anti-chaff. I have mine set up in that way with chains so that the lightning that it fires out, three bolts of lightning, it'll chain to other units within 60-meter radius, which is 6 squares on the board. And it's going to do lots of damage and rip up enemy chaff. So great chaff clearing unit as well. So when you're playing and you're looking at what do I do, you're sitting here and you're building your board. You don't really want to run these chaffy units into these chaff clear units. Think of it like rock, paper, scissors. Your chaff is going to get destroyed by chaff clear. Chaff is weak to chaff clear. Okay, very weak to chaff clear. Chaff clear smokes it like paper on a rock, scissors to paper, rock to scissors. That is going to beat chaff almost every time. There are some rare exceptions based on tech levels and all that. Again, more detail than I'm going to get into in this video, but just know that generally speaking, chaff clear beats chaff. Now we're going to look at DPS. So DPS / tank. DPS are units designed to output a lot of damage, tank a lot of damage, and they're designed to kind of carry your units. You see me click a lot of stuff here, and it's because a lot of stuff can be DPS if it's set up correctly. Honestly, a lot of your stuff in the game can wind up being DPS if you tech it the right way. And basically all your Titans, we'll treat them separately though. So once again, let's spread things out. Where's my light units? Now for mediums, that's the higher medium. Let's get the cheaper mediums out first. There's another light medium, or light mech there. Okay, so now we're looking at this. So DPS and tank, these units designed to output lots of damage or tank a lot of hits, and this is highly dependent on the skills as well. It's like the crab, the vortex crab. It has a lot of DPS potential, but it can also be a very tanky unit, and some people call it chaffy in the sense that it ties up other enemy units based on the tech bar. For the purpose of this quick and dirty video, I'm going to go based off their stats and their tech potential. So DPS or tank. DPS, it can be tank with armor enhancement. DPS, it can be tank with energy shield. DPS or tank, I said it's anti-chaff. It is, but you can tech it with charge shot. You can tech it with other techs that aren't on my tech bar to make it tanky. Charge shot makes it, and elite marksman gives it a lot more firepower, which makes it DPS. Marksman is pure DPS, but you can put assault mode and make it tanky. I mean, the techs really can change the nature. So these are your light 100 cost units. Your mediums are here. Excuse me. Let me grab some water real quick. I'm talking for a minute here. So your medium units are going to be 2 to 300 units, 2 to 300 in cost. And again, I mentioned these guys are set up for chaff clear. That's 100% correct on my tech bar. But you can also change the tech bar and make them pretty much a DPS unit. I've run that before as well. I just don't have it set up now. Scorpion, pure DPS. It's great at clearing chaff because it has a 15-meter spread. I didn't include it earlier because it's kind of slow at shooting chaff and not great at fast chaff or aerial chaff, but it's great against the medium chaff. I probably should have put it in the chaffy or the chaff clear group a minute ago, but it's great at DPS. It has double shot. It can take out shields. It's really strong. These guys, when their tech bar is different from this, have a lot of powerful techs that make them high DPS. Steel balls, high DPS, very tanky. And this tech makes them chaffy. They'll die, 5 crawlers spawn, you can get 20 crawlers out of a single steel ball, makes them super chaffy. Again, not going to go into serious detail on the techs, just know in general that these DPS units, the Sabertooth, the Stormcaller, the Hacker, which is the only unit in the game that will steal units from your enemy and put them on your side of the board, capturing them and putting them to use for you. Rhino, which is melee, Phantom Ray, which is air, Wasp, which is air, Phoenix, which is one of the best aerial DPS units in the game, Wraith is really strong, and the Farseer, which is a great utility unit with good DPS. You've got the Fort, one of the most powerful DPS units in the game, one of the single best units in the game, in my opinion. Overlord, which is strong DPS, and can actually, with the Mothership, create its own chaff. The Sandworm, also, with its Replicate, creates its own chaff, is a really strong tanky unit with high HP, makes a really strong DPS unit, great in a swarm. Melting Point, the single best DPS dealer against single targets in the game, super strong, has an exponential output on its damage, is incredibly powerful, and very weak to chaff, which we'll get to chaff in a second. Close the loop, so to speak. We talked about the Vulcan as anti-chaff, but with the right text, it's pretty good at DPS. Vulcan, great at DPS. The thing you have to remember is, again, rock, paper, scissors. We talked about anti-chaff, right? Let's jump back over sides. Let's drop our anti-chaff back down. So again, we talked about chaff, we talked about anti-chaff, and we're talking about DPS. And the thing to remember is chaff loses to anti-chaff, but anti-chaff generally loses to DPS. Again, rock, paper, scissors. You got rock, paper, scissors. I guess a bit more accurate to say rock because it's a DPS and tank. Paper because these guys get shredded really easily, and then scissors over here. But who cares? The point is, one counters the next, which counters the next, which counters the next, and the circle of life completes. And what you need to remember is, if you're going to run DPS units, which are basically the units that are going to destroy everything and carry your game, you need to put out lots of chaff, because DPS units, generally speaking, when they're put into a DPS posture, don't do well clearing lots of small units. They have to turn, they have to open fire, they have to stop, they have to turn, open fire again. They typically have high damage and slow rates of fire. That's not true for every unit. The Vulcan, for example, Steel Ball, the Melting Point, fast rates of fire, right? Wasp, fast rates of fire. You do have glass cannon DPS as well, or you have super tanky DPS like the Fortress and the Worm that have the slower rate of fire, 1.8 seconds, 2.5 seconds. The Scorpion, 4.5 seconds, crazy slow rate of fire. But the number one thing that they all share, generally speaking, is that they don't do super great against chaff when they're put in a DPS posture. I said Mustangs can be great anti-chaff. They can. Mine are set up anti-chaff. They'll eat all this for brunch. But if I put them in the DPS setting, they can still do decently well against chaff, but they're going to take longer to clear it. They're going to struggle. So as you, a new player, a weekend warrior, are trying to play this game, keep in mind chaff beats DPS. DPS beats chaff clear or anti-chaff. Chaff clear or anti-chaff beats chaff. That's the very, very rough, quick and dirty guide you need to play this game and play units against each other. You will see that there are units that break the rules because of how their techs are set up. That is a deeper, more nuanced video for another time, and other people have already covered it. Just remember the 3 basic archetypes: chaff, anti-chaff or chaff clear, and DPS or tank, and you should be okay for your basic gameplay experience to get your feet wet. And then once you're ready, you can start diving into, what does this tech do? How does this other higher level player like Ubon or one of the other guys, how do they adjust these things, or how do they set up their stuff and kit them out to flip them? You can have multiple techs. I have this set up for DPS, but I also have it set up for tankiness, and I have it created for chaff. So I can go range, run the DPS, make it tanky, make it chaffy. This guy's chaff clear. I've got Shockwave to help him clear chaff faster, but I've also got these two to give him extra firepower to swap them over to a DPS role. I'm trying to be flexible. Again, longer and more detail, just know that units that fit a certain single archetype, DPS for example, or chaff clear, can flip their archetype to something else if the techs are correct. Don't be surprised by that, be ready for it. Just know they have a basic archetype and you have to invest in them by buying techs to swap that archetype. Now let's back out to the lobby. That pretty much concludes this quick and dirty guide. Like I said, it's very quick, very dirty. It's not going to give you lots of detail. It's just a high level, 1,000 foot overview to give you a quick and dirty intro so you can kind of get in there and start playing. Some veteran players that watch this may point and say, I don't agree with that. That's totally fine. Again, quick and dirty for people that are trying it for the first time. If you're going to get into this, you're going to get more nuanced, you're going to dive into it, you're going to learn more. Go back to the splash screen by clicking here on the little Mechabellum icon. Watch some of these videos. You'll understand better how all this works. Go check out Ubon's channel especially. He's got great stuff. A lot of these guys here have great stuff actually. I think Tom has some good videos too. Frost, here Ajax. Look up their stuff. Learn how to play. Learn the nuances from them. But don't do it right away. You'll get a little overwhelmed. It's too much information for new people. Just take the quick and dirty guide. Go play solo. Play academy, practice, survival in that order. Experiment in testing grounds. Then when you feel ready, come over here and play multiplayer. And when you get to multiplayer, you can go hit play. I highly recommend you play casual. You're going to get ranked against people that can be strong, but casual tends to be a gentler experience, generally speaking. Ranked, you're going to gain or lose MMR, which is like ELO. That's the serious game mode. That's the mode a lot of people get upset, oh, I lost MMR, or they get excited, oh, I gained MMR. It's the one that actually tracks your efforts, and people use it as a yardstick to compare themselves. It's where EP, ELO, all that stuff lives. Casual is casual, very gentle compared to rank, generally speaking, and that's a great place to start once you've done practice, survival, testing grounds, etc. Dimensional Rift, I think, is my favorite game mode. It's a ton of fun. It has special rules though, so you don't really want to jump into it until you play casual. You kind of got a feel for the game. This one, for example, has Dominion Core. Everybody gets a special item that has special effects. If the unit carrying it dies, your whole army dies. That can be very tricky. And the second rule is Giant Hunt. So all giant units, which we talked about, and Titans, which we haven't got to yet, are going to have their cost decrease and make it easier to get them, and then killing them will give you 50 supply on top of that. I didn't get into Titans. Honestly, that's a more complicated subject. Just know that Titans are a really, really powerful high-end unit that are going to wreck your economy if you don't play them right, but are extremely potent. We're talking high risk, high reward with a Titan, and completely overpowering, and will just flip the board if you play it right. But again, more detail, more nuance than what I want to get into. I'm just covering the basics. Light, medium, heavy units. Titans are a specialized unit. I don't recommend new players trying on multiplayer until they've kind of gotten used to them on single player. And I really recommend you look out some of the Titan strategy guides first. I don't like playing Titans because for me, I tend to end my games. I play a faster tempo game. I tend to end them before I get to the Titan level. If you're playing a game that's Titans and you're finding that you're doing that routinely, you may want to dive into that, get into some higher end videos. But again, quick and dirty guide, Titans are outside of what I consider quick and dirty guide. Some people, especially veterans, may be like, what are you doing? That's such an important part of the game. I 100% agree. But again, we're talking about somebody that's going to play the game for 1 or 2 days and make a decision on how to buy it. They don't necessarily need to know all the nitty gritties, including Titans. They can figure that out if they decide to buy the game. For now, take the basic units, go have fun, see if you like it. Hopefully you do and you'll buy it, and then we'll get into Titans after that. I play ranked most of the time, or I play Dimensional Rift if I like the rule sets. Like I said, go to solo, get the academy, practice, maybe play a little survival, definitely play around testing grounds, then go multiplayer, try out casual. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. And you can also shoot me messages on YouTube, and if you see me in Discord or on Steam, shoot me messages there. I'll be more than happy to respond. Again, I'm middle tier, not an expert, but I'm more than happy to help people learn the game, and I want to make sure the player base grows, because if the player base grows, the game stays around longer, and I get to enjoy playing my favorite game for a longer period of time. That, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great night. Thanks for watching.